What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my 5 best tips for new beginner runners on how to start running. So let's get right into it. So first, a little background on myself. So I've been running for about 3 years now. I started back in the end of 2021, around December. So we're in July already, 2024. So we are coming up to December and July. So it is about to be 3 years. In those 3 years, I have ran 3 marathons. And last year in November in Philly, I was able to run a sub 3-hour marathon. Again, I am no way, shape, or form an elite runner or an elite athlete, but I do have, and I have learned a lot of tips along the way that I'd love to share with you guys. And I hope that any of these 5 tips that I'm able to give you today, you're able to use for your own journey, especially if you're starting off as a new runner. So let's get right into it. So my first tip is to change the mindset about running. Just lace up those shoes and go out there and start running. Don't think about how fast you have to go. Don't think about how many miles you have to put in. Just lace up those shoes, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's all about getting the body to move. A lot of times when we first start running, we think people are gonna judge us.
Look at him run.
How are we gonna look running? We might look funny. We might not be to the standard, or etc., etc. What I recommend is nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And I say that in the most respectful way. We're all dealing with our own problems. And as long as you're going out there to better yourself, to better your health, that is on you. So if you need to put your phone down right now while you're watching this video and go out for that run, just go ahead and do it. I'll wait for you here for tip 2. But yes, change that mindset, go out for the run, and don't overthink. Let's get it. So my tip 2 is getting the proper running shoes. I wish someone had told me this when I first started running, because all I was using some old Nikes that a friend gave me, and I thought those were good enough. Especially when we first start running as well, we might be using our old Nikes, our old Converses, our old Adidas. Now, I want you to think of it this way.
Think about this.
When you see a soccer player playing, you don't see them using Adidas or Converses for them to play. You see basketball players, you don't see them using cleats to play. They have a specific shoe that they use for their sport.
Oh, really?
The same thing goes for running. Make sure you have the right running gear, the right shoes to stay injury free and to perform at your best. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and break the bank and spend $250 on those super shoes, because you don't have to. There's plenty of options. When I first started running, I was using my old Kimbara 13s that I got on Amazon that were $60. They were on a special deal, and I got 2 pairs, so like that could mismatch the colors. But there's so many options out there. What you can also do is go to your local running shoe store, get your feet checked out to make sure what shoe best fits you, and from that you'll be able to have the right shoe that you're able to use too. So remember, proper running shoes matters. So go out there and get yourself some good pair of running shoes.
Just gotta keep sprinting.
Okay, so if that was you in the last slide, don't do that. Third tip is slow and steady. It's a big one, because when we first start running, we think, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna run 8-10 miles. I'm gonna run my fastest mile so I can get fast and I can run for longer distances and accumulate so much volume in that first month. But guess where that leads to? That's right, injuries. Something we don't want to hear, something we don't want to go. It is true to some degree about running for a little longer, running a little faster, because if you run faster, of course you're going to get faster, right? But you do have to realize that when you first start, you first want to be able to build your aerobic base. Make sure you build time on feet, build your heart rate, get accustomed to running for longer distances for longer periods. Not only that, but also when you first start running, you want to go fast all the time, you're going to get burned out. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to dislike it even more, and you're going to probably stop doing it because you're going to think that everyone is the same way. It's all about taking it easy, stacking those bricks one by one, day by day, training session by training session, and I promise you, as long as you stay consistent, the results will come. But that's the name of the game, especially with running. It's all about consistency. Something that we don't have in today's day and ages. We want things fast. But it's all about, hey, I'm gonna take it easy, I'm gonna stay consistent, and surely the results will come. So that is tip 3, slow and steady. All right, my friends, Don't go fast out there. So my tip 4 is proper recovery. You've probably seen this one coming.
Full recovery.
So recovery is probably the most important thing people don't do when they first start getting into it. We think, oh, it's just my legs, I should be good, and we don't do the proper cool down, the proper warm up. But not having the proper recovery actually keeps us from running even more, because we get into running for the first month, 2 months, and we neglect recovery. And guess what starts happening? Guess what we start hearing? My knees hurt.
Hurt my knee.
My shin splint hurts. My calves hurt. Am I lying or am I dying? Right? You probably heard it from every new runner you have met, or maybe that's you at the moment, where you're like, my knees hurt. I don't know why. So proper recovery is super important when you first start getting into running. Just make sure you build up that habit, because it's easy not to build up that habit. It's easy to neglect that at first because we're so fresh. But once the months and the years start passing by, your knees start taking a toll of all that pounding every single day, your feet pounding that pavement, that before you realize it, then you start having those little nagging issues that we just spoke to earlier. So proper recovery, whether that's a 10-minute warm up before you run, a 10-minute cool down, even a 15-20 minute stretch 2-3 times a week, I guarantee you it's gonna come a long way. That's how I stay injury free for the past 3 years. Let me knock on wood, because right, you never know what could happen. But I have stayed injury free for the past 3 years. I take super care of my legs, of my recovery. I make sure I foam roll, I stretch. So proper recovery is very important. Don't neglect it. So tip 5, and this is probably my favorite one, and maybe you missed the last 4, but if you do this one, it's gonna be the most, is set a goal. Now, that could either be signing up for your first 5K, your first 10K, your first half marathon, your first full marathon. Just have a North Star to look at and to look forward to, especially at the beginning. I'm not saying to sign up for your first full marathon the first month you start running. Of course not. Be realistic with your expectations.
Be realistic, okay?
But having a North Star, having a goal in the beginning, is gonna help you get motivated. It's gonna help you get up every single morning for your run. It's gonna help you lace up your shoes every single day. And before you know it, once you get into a couple months, a year into running, then you're gonna be enjoying it. Then you're gonna be then your friends are gonna be calling you the crazy one when you say, I'm gonna go for an easy 7-mile run because it's fun to do on a Monday morning. And maybe running isn't for you. Maybe you don't enjoy running. Maybe you didn't like it, and that's fine. But as long as you gave yourself that opportunity to try and to go for it, hey, it was all worth it, right? Experiences. So set a goal, go for it, enjoy the process, man. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching and sticking around. I hope these tips that I was able to share with you today help you in your journey, especially if you're just starting out running. Again, running is such an amazing community. You get to meet so many like-minded individuals. It's such an amazing community. You might never know who you might find there. So I would suggest just go out there, have fun, live in the moment, because today is promised, tomorrow is not. So as always, remember, si se puede, and we're gonna continue this journey. I hope you guys stick around. If you haven't, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, because we're gonna keep going and we're gonna go hard on YouTube 2024. Let's get it. Peace.